Hi, Grandpa. So we're gonna show you some stuff about what jiujitsu looks like. Jiujitsu mostly starts where wrestling ends, meaning there's very little focus on the takedown game and mostly what to do from the ground in the worst case scenario positions. For instance, I've been taken down. Lindsay's got the top position in some way, shape, or form, and I'm on my back, right? So my objective right now is to establish some degree of guard, which would mean I need to use my legs and my hips to create distance, control her posture, whatever it is. So this is what would be called full guard, because I'm fully wrapped around her, I'm attached, and I can control her posture for the most part. She can post up against me to keep me from breaking her posture, things like that. So I want to maybe take an arm, whatever I can do that gives me control. If she were to try and strike, right, come down, and I would be trying to control an arm, control a head, and take away power from her. So even you can't see the other side. I'll control this side. So she's got an arm free, right? She can strike me with an arm, but I could try and wrap that, or I could use my knee. Go ahead and do it again. I can kind of control that distance here, and then control the arm, whatever it is. Let's scoot this way though, we're out of camera. So, from guard, there's a lot of kinds of guard. I got my full guard. I got an open guard here where my feet are on her hips, and I can push away maybe, and I could try and get up and recover. Then there's my favorite that I like to work with, which is butterfly guard. So I would, for instance, try and push a leg back so that I can get a foot in, and then lift her like this. There's all kinds of sweeps like that, where she's trying to shift my legs around. Try your stack pass, right? Right there, and see, I'm still attached. My foot's wrapped around her on that side. So if she's going to try and go around to her right, I'm still attached, right? So I can keep my hips between us. There's always some kind of stalling game that I can play while I work to do any number of submissions from the back, which is where jiu-jitsu surprises a lot of wrestlers, because you can be very dangerous from your back if you were to just let me, if I could. And obviously it's not this easy while she's letting me, but I could, if I can separate this arm from her, I could reach, grab my figure 4 grip right here, and I could apply a lot of pressure to a rotator cuff there. If I can get this arm across the middle here, I could, from guard, I can press off of her hip to angle myself. So there's very little wiggle room. She can't try and wiggle, right? Really try and pull out, right? See, I'm mostly in control right now, and I would just right here, and then with pressure from the hips, I could break the arm. If she were to try and one arm in, one arm out, right? I would slide here, control the arm, and then choke her out with a triangle, just like this. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay. There's a lot more than that. We're still beginners. But there's so much you can do to be dangerous from your back. But ideally, you want to take the top position. Let's scoot a little bit away. So there's all kinds of sweeps. I showed you the butterfly sweep a moment ago. But if she's not succeeding at keeping me flat, she doesn't post up. You don't post up.
Okay.
So I could stand up like this, take her stance out from under her that way. And then there's scissor sweeps, which is where, just like we did earlier, she's trying to try your stack this way, right? So I'm still attached here, right? If I could make her weight come back onto me, I can move her legs out from under her that way. Okay, thank you for cooperating.
Yeah.
All right, now, there's a lot of ways to take the top game, but of course, once she's on her back, her goal is to reestablish guard too, right? So right then I had you in mount. So she would bridge, choose a direction and bridge against me. Stop at the height of the bridge there. Okay, so she's created a lot of space, right? So as soon as she puts her hips back down, she can fill that space with a knee, right? So she's got some degree of guard established. You could potentially try and butterfly me just to disrupt my posture. Just lift me up, right? So I got to post up. She's got a lot of space to work with now. You can hip escape that way, right? Get the other leg in, right? Now establish some kind of guard. Control my posture, right? You could control my posture, right? Yeah, see? Right, me? So now I got to tire myself out, trying to press and get my head out. Post against her. Now, so from here, I need to break the guard. which there's 1,000 ways to do, and I know like 5 of them. Here, let's scoot further away.
You're mindful of the time because it doesn't always.
Indeed, yeah. I'll just let it go and maybe start a second video after that.
Yeah.
So I post up, so it's hard for her to control my posture, like grab my neck. Right? It's very difficult. In the game, you have collars and sleeves to grab too, so you don't always have to go for the neck or shoulder. But basically, as long as I'm locked up and my hips are forward, it's very hard for her to break my posture. Mm-hmm. So I would apply pressure with the back of my hips by reaching out like this, and then break the guard. I could stack pass, or not stack pass, that was actually a...
Staple.
Well, yeah, staple is the term for what you're doing to the leg, but I forget what the actual is. Crossover pass, something like that. Oh. But I staple the leg, baseball slide down her into side control. Let's turn. So I've got her side like this. Mm-hmm. I want to create pressure on the jaw, make her uncomfortable. Now, Lindsay's really good at getting her sharp little elbows in here between us, creating this frame. So there's all kinds of ways that I try to get that elbow away. Just let me so I don't got to struggle for it. I could try and go for this arm bar here, but it's much easier for her to stay in tight like that. So I try and get this elbow here. That way when I switch, so that elbow, yeah, you can see it is definitely removed from her body.
Mm-hmm. I can't do much with it.
It's no longer between us, so I can sort of pin it to her head.
Mm-hmm.
And let's rotate more again. So now that I've got this arm controlled here, and I can control that one too, there's nothing preventing me from coming up into my mount position here because I had so much space. Let's see. If I had failed to get that mount, Lindsay could, for instance, catch me in a half guard by wrapping up the one leg, which is still not a great position for her to be in, but it's better than getting mounted. So I would hip, pull, and then use the other foot, wrap my mount again, and attach myself. A lot of the point of jiu-jitsu is that when we're attached, we're one center of gravity. So for instance, she can't pick me up because she would have to be picking us both up. The same way you can't pick yourself up by your own belt, right? If she tries to press off of me, press me away, like, we're attached. She can't press me up. If I'm not attached to her, she can lift me, but now she has to lift us both, which is not possible. Mm-hmm. So there's all kinds of, she's mounted now. You could try and roll me out by securing an arm and a leg, right? So she could attach to that arm, use your leg to secure the leg, and that's perfect. He can see that. Okay. Then you bridge and roll me. So I can't post up over here because she trapped the arm and the leg, mm-hmm. Right? Okay. Now, when we're in mount, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. And we'll cut this video short pretty soon, but if we were in the gi, she would have big, thick collars that are made to be yanked on, and I could cross-choke and pull them like this and choke her. Mm-hmm. But we're not in the gi, so I would probably try and shift her onto one side. I've got one knee back here pinning to her so she can't roll backwards, right? And then this one's trying to secure her, like, you always want to stay tight and create as little wiggle room as possible when controlling somebody. Mm-hmm. So I would try to secure this arm and then come back, separate it from her body. There's a lot of simple principles about staying tight, about pivoting around fulcrums, but essentially, defense in jiu-jitsu is all about staying tight in so that nobody takes a limb from your body. And offense in jiu-jitsu is always about trying to separate someone's limb from your body and then rotate yourself into such a fulcrum lever situation where you can break that limb off. Mm-hmm. It's super cool. It's very complex and very layered. And you put years and years into refining the little micro adjustments of your game to make yourself more efficient. It's really awesome. Anyway, love you. Just wanted to show you some stuff. Bye.